This is Infection, the survival podcast, recorded live on Tuesday, August 15th, 2017, episode 135. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Infection, the survival podcast. Infection is your source for the latest information on survival video games. We bring you the latest news, reviews, updates, and more each and every week. My name is Nick Craig. At Nicholas M. Craig is my Twitter. InfectionPodcast.com is the website. Joining me, as he does each and every week, the real star of the show, Brian with an I, Aldridge. Hey, Brian.
Hey, everybody. If you want to find me on the internet, at Boise Computer on Twitter, or you're more than welcome to go check out my blog, biteoftech.com. Of course, that's with an I. Also, if you'd like to go to our website, perhaps you are listening to the show and you're listening to the podcast form and you would like to get notifications, because we do this live every Tuesday afternoon, so Tuesday evening. You can go to our website and click Join Steam Group, and that will pop up little notifications. And we don't send a lot of other spam, but it's a nice way to also find people that are linked to the podcast, so different people that play games on our Discord and everything. And usually they're following our Steam group, so it's a quick way to find their profiles for connecting inside of a game. Also, if you want to join our Discord, I encourage you to click Join Server, and that is on the right-hand side. It's a little green button, and that will connect you right to our Discord server. And that is a great place. We have lots of rooms to where if you want to play, there's new Just Survive, there's Battlegrounds, whatever game is your preference. We've got different rooms that you can jump into, and a great way to link up and start playing games with other people. And it's a free service. So perhaps, if you've been playing, I assume you know what Discord is, but if you've never bothered to create an account with Discord, it's really easy, it's free, and they have a really good mobile app. So all the way around, it's pretty nice.
A free mobile app.
Click that.
Unlike their competitors. Yes. Is that still?
Yeah.
Does TeamSpeak still charge for a mobile app? There's no way.
I think. Well, I don't know. I already own it, so I would never know. They haven't given me a refund. I know that.
No, well, they won't give you a refund, but they may have. We are in the age of. It's so interesting. This is totally off note, but Brian, I'm sure you had an early smartphone. Most of the apps were paid. Like, most of the apps were 99 cents, and it was just kind of like a thing, like, oh, I want the ability to do this.
And if they weren't, they were heavily ad-driven.
Now there's just a whole bunch of free apps.
Yep. Well, and Amazon really kind of changed it around, because they had that initial Prime offering of just had a bunch of free apps. That if you had a Prime account, supposedly you get free things in it. So it was like having the paid for apps, but for free. And that seems like they kind of backed off on that a little bit. But there's a lot of apps that are just kind of as a service now, which is nice. Yeah,
still like $4.99 for TeamSpeak. Obviously, they're not. They're not. They don't care about clearly competing with the times, as they're still charging $5 for a mobile app. I think the Word app is less than that, and that's Microsoft's word processing program. So I would. Yeah. I don't know why they charge so much. I guess they just know that if someone's into that kind of a group, they'll do it. It's a really bad app. It crashes constantly. It's very out of date. Yep. The UI sucks. It's not. You're not getting $5 worth out of TeamSpeak. So, nevertheless, welcome to Infection, everybody. Big things have happened, Brian, and we'll talk about those. We do have a game of the week, if I can pull these show notes up. So, actually, we will get to the game of the week. I forgot what it was, but we will get to the game of the week in a couple of minutes. I believe you guys played Battlegrounds last week.
Yes.
How'd that go?
Yep. And we had two to three groups going for that, which, that's probably about 10 people.
Gotcha.
Going the whole time. So it worked out pretty well. And, that game is just, it runs pretty smoothly. So that's nice. Usually it's not like some games where you get in there and half the time you're crashing out. It's pretty consistent. Sometimes you get a little bit of lag, but other than that, usually our game nights with Battlegrounds are pretty smooth. Yes.
So we'll announce our next game coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Well, Brian, we had, and I'll put up my my marquee here. I'm not updating the H1Z1 marquee. It's going to stay H1Z1. I'm still calling it H1Z1 Just Survive. I really don't care. H1Z1 Just Survive pushed a massive update this week. They essentially pushed the test server to live And they announced this, I believe, last night on
Twitter. Pretty much the old Just Survive is gone.
It's pretty much, it is. It has been wiped off the face of the earth. If you have not updated your Steam, if you haven't opened Steam, you still have a copy on your computer. But once you do and update it, that copy will be gone forever.
Well, it's not like you can play on any servers either.
No, you couldn't.
Anyways, you can just launch it and look at the old menu.
Yeah, you could do that. I'm sure there are people that will. So they put out a tweet last night that servers were going down for a massive update, and the approximated downtime was 10 hours, which, I mean, is just a dead giveaway to we are pushing the new, stronghold systems, possibly the new map, a whole slew of things that were on test and a whole bunch of things that were talked about. Now, the interesting thing is, I guess we'll go into it first, Brian, is the name. They have completely ditched H1Z1 as it wasn't an acronym, but as an acronym for the game. And
so their Reddit, I mean, they created a whole new Reddit, so it's /play just survive.
Mm-hmm.
So /r/play just survive. And then they did a Twitter is now /play just survive.
Yep.
And so they've been going through, and then they got justsurvive.com as well.
They must have paid big bucks for that. There's no way that domain was not registered.
Because legally they would have had an easy time getting like H1Z1 justsurvive.com because someone can't take that name. But I'm sure someone had justsurvive.com.
Just Survive. Yeah, I don't think that's
they pitched out some bucks for it.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, it's very common in the gaming industry. I mean, when you're starting a company, you want the domain bad enough, you'll shell out as much as possible. So, it's interesting. So the name previously H1Z1 Just Survive is now just Survive. It's just it's called Just Survive now. It's got an interesting logo. It features I'm not a big fan of the text, but the V is a blood stain with a knife. So it's like an arm. If you look, it's like an arm in a V shape. You're right. It isn't
with it holding a knife. It's kind of hard to see on the Reddit page, but I found a bigger version of it, and it's just kind of there you go. A reddish arm with a V.
In terms of again, I don't want to nitpick everything, but the logo, I mean, it's interesting. I don't really, so here's the, okay, here we go, Brian. This is where I wanted to be. Okay, so let's see, how do I make my point clear here? H1Z1 was sold originally as a zombie survival game. That was the reason, Brian, you and I have been talking here for 135 weeks, is because we were sold a game that was based on zombie survival. That was H1Z1. That was the whole thing. It's a virus. People have contracted the H1Z1 virus. Now people are zombies. You're against the zombies. Also, you're against other players. That was the whole thing. That was H1Z1. Now, with the success of King of the Kill, which for the most part they have just branded as King of the Kill, that's how they branded it. Why are they getting rid of the
H1? There's no H1Z1 in it. I mean, King of the Kill has zero things to do with actual virus in the game. I mean, a long time ago they had that game mode where it showed they had zombies in a few of the BRs, but that was pretty much the only extent. So it seems like everything has left the whole H1Z1. What is left in H1Z1?
Well, so there's two ways to look at this. First is, there's some people. I'll play both sides for you here. I'll talk out of two different sides of my mouth. The first side, Brian, is of course, the first point is, well, what the hell? H1Z1 was the zombie survival game. Now you're doing the zombie survival game. Why aren't you using the name H1Z1? That's one side of the argument. The other side is H1Z1 is such a tainted brand and has just such bad publicity that the only way for that, and I guess here's the thing: people aren't stupid. I mean, they know what this is. Maybe they just dropped the H1Z1 because, hey, it's a kind of a tainted brand, had a rough past, rough history, kind of a fresh slate, a clean slate to start off on. Do you think they're kind of getting away from the whole zombie part of it? No, I don't think so.
Do you think they're distinct? I mean, because they could almost make a survival server that doesn't have zombies, and it wouldn't really be that different, other than just put animals, a few more killer animals or something else
and
to kill you along the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to be as nice as possible with this, Brian. And Supa literally just stole the words out of my mouth. They have spent so much time rebranding, renaming, re-identifying, redoing their public image. I mean, this is like the third or fourth H1Z1 Just Survive or H1Z1 logo, and we still don't have a game that is freaking playable. The game is what's important. If the game is good, the name is irrelevant. And they, in my opinion, they are spending so much time on this bullshit brand identity stuff that's irrelevant because the game sucks. I mean, I'm going to be just as candid as possible. Previously, H1Z1 just freaking sucked. The game was terrible. Had nothing to do with the name. The name is it's completely irrelevant. And I have a fear here, Brian, that they are spending so much time on image and I mean, they're switching all their social media. Why? We don't have a game that plays. Well, I mean, like new subreddit, new Twitter account. I mean, just to prove my point here, if I go to the H1Z1 subreddit, the original H1Z1 subreddit that they still have, there are 42,000 people subscribed to that subreddit. They have dropped all of those subscribers, and now they have 186 subscribers on their new subreddit. Was it really worth the name change to drop 40+ thousand subscribers off your subreddit? I mean, maybe they're hoping that the toxic ones will. No, but they won't. I mean, the active. This is the thing with Reddit. The active people are going to go anywhere. You want the. I mean, the same thing with our Twitter followers. We have over 1,000 Twitter followers. Not all of them engage with us, but it looks better than having 100 Twitter followers where all of them engage. Instead, we have 1,000 and maybe only 100 engage. I mean, it's just very odd. This whole. I mean, do you have any comment on this? It doesn't just seem like a lot of PR, a lot of upper management BS instead of like actually game fixing things. I kind of wonder how much of this is that we had this. It's coming up on a year now, right? Where all these new people came in, and they're dealing with a lot of junk, and they've got to deal with Daybreak, first of all. And I look at it and it's like, I think that they're just trying to think of, well, how can we salvage this brand? I mean, how can we salvage the game overall? And so they've done a total workaround to where it's now more of an RPG. It's got, totally redone the base building system. Everything is pretty fresh. And I mean, I assume if they continue this and they continue to deliver a very different game, then they just want to be distanced to where they can say, hey, see, it's new name, new game, give it a chance. It's new me. They're probably hoping for. I look at all this. I got a new hairstyle, I got a haircut, like I'm ready to go. I'm a different person. Look at me. I moved, new town, new haircut, new name, same infection podcast. I mean, that's just okay. So you're agreeing with me that this is just pure PR. I think that they still have a lot of stuff they have to do to win back people like us. Like I was in a grumpy mood earlier today when I was looking at it, and I was just thinking, I just look at, whenever I want to get in a grumpy mood, I just look at EverQuest and look at the fact that they're still creating content for EverQuest. And you can go look, and they have over 11 dedicated developers. That's at least, of ones they have listed on their Twitter account, that all they do is sit and make content for a game that is coming up very quickly on 20 years old. I played it almost 20 years ago. Pays the bills though. But I mean, come on, it pays the bills. But the thing is, they haven't improved the game. That's the thing that I don't get. Well, it's like somebody's playing it. But they're creating outdated old content. I mean, I understand with this, at least like they're trying to fix it. But I just look at the company's mentality. Like, who along the 20-year span didn't say, hey, maybe we should improve the graphics a hair. Maybe we shouldn't make things in worse than Minecraft looking quality. You know what I'm saying? Like, a bit of a stretch.
Really? Go look at it.
I know what
Minecraft has more detail. I mean, Minecraft
4K
has
Minecraft.
more detail.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing is I get frustrated in that mentality, and I think that there's a lot of that left over to where these guys are like, how long can I milk a product for? And I think they're going to do the same thing with King of the Kill once it's done. Right now they're putting improvements in it because they want to get a few more sales in, but then there's going to be a point where King of the Kill no longer brings on new sales, and then they're just going to milk it and keep people hanging on as long as they can to a dying product.
Very possible.
And I'm just worried that this will do the same thing if they don't fix the engine. Like we've gone over that so many times. It's not like they can.
Yeah.
But it's not like they can just go and fix the engine. These guys are just, they can't win. I mean, I realize that. They cannot win with this game. There's no way they're going to be able to compete with the new upcoming titles.
I agree with, I mean, for all intents and purposes, they are launching a brand new game with something
that's
it's like a 3-year-old concept. Yeah.
You've got a 10-year-old engine.
Yeah, well, I agree. It's a 10-year-old engine. Well, but my point is, this is a 3-year-old tested concept. I mean, if I'm supposed to believe that new name, clean slate, redo, you are using 3-year-old game mechanics to develop to release a quote unquote new game today. And before we continue crapping,
now they did go through.
Hold on. We've got they have a new video. Let's at least give them some. And again, this folks, this is why the H1Z1 people don't talk to us. But I mean, it's just realistic. I mean, and again, I've said this 1,000 times, and I'll say it again. I loved H1Z1. Case in point, still here, still talking to Brian, still talking about H1Z1. If nobody loves the game more than me, and I'll challenge anybody to that claim. And Brian, I'm sure feels the exact same way, because that's why he's still. God, I don't know why he's still here, but that's one of the reasons that he's still here. So they have a new trailer, and we'll play it, and I guess we can deconstruct it a little bit.
Okay.
All right, so there's their trailer, and I mean, I do have to say this real quickly before we continue on. I mean, this screen is ridiculous. This is
the game's nothing like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is.
Look at that. First of all, look at the tree up there. Okay, so here's the things I noticed.
God.
Look at the tree on the upper right. Does a single tree look like that in the game anywhere?
No.
Not a single tree that resembles that.
This looks like a Far Cry. This looks like a Far Cry thing. Like, this is
why
kind of
would they put a
like.
tree in that unless they're putting in a tree that resembles that? Why would you put it in your concept art?
I mean, this is bad. I mean, this looks like a movie trailer screen. I mean, that's literally what it looks like. So I don't see how you could air a minute trailer and then put this at the end. It's like, hey, H1Z1 just survived. Like, it looks nothing like that.
Look at our DirectX 9 graphics. Oh, and we got a movie trailer ending.
Okay. So let's scrub through a couple parts of this, Brian. Let's just start it again from the start. Oops. So we can kind of look through some of this stuff here. First of all, the grass, different. I'm not saying that's a good or a bad thing, but the grass is definitely different. It looks a little bit thicker. This is all in-engine, in-game rendered stuff. This is not out of engine, BS. This is in-engine stuff. You can see higher grass. It's moving a little bit in the distance. That stuff's important. We're seeing that with Battlegrounds right now. Yeah. Having grass and having stuff like that is important, no matter what. Yep. It may sound stupid. It's important. Same stupid zombie noises doesn't make any sense. That animation, just not impressive.
So pretty much does that allow you to then loot it?
No, it's when it's done. It's like I think it's like it's done completely. Some dust comes out. Scenery and scenery looks nice. I mean, that's a nice shot. Absolutely. That looks good. You see the mountains in the background. That's another interesting shot. This whole fortifying thing, I'm impressed with this. This is what I'm looking for because there's a whole bunch of these structures in game that you can't do anything with. So that's a plus. The being able to fortify structure is a plus. This raid is.
But the thing is, watch what they do here. They just toss a bunch of Molotovs in there and you're done.
Yeah, I guess.
That's the issue. It's not very secure.
No, but it's possible.
When it took them, yeah.
Yeah. So, we see this,
and I know they did a demo of this on their Twitch here 2 days ago of trying to do a base raid like this. They're kind of they had a preset with a bunch of streamers locally doing a raid on another base. Just kind of doing a setup like this.
And this is a possible scenario though. I mean, they have actually made this possible now in the game. Previously they showed these like epic raids. None of that stuff was possible. This is actually possible now. There's cover, there's places to go, there's a reason to raid. And this is really cool at the end right here. He drives the car and destroys one of the pillars. If that's actually what happens, I'm impressed, Brian. I mean, I'll play it one more time for you. If you are essentially able to suicide bomb yourself into the side of somebody's base and destroy it, that's impressive. If that's actually what happens with the modular base building system.
And it also is recursive as far as the destruction. So it should be. So the destruction should be if you destroy the things below it, the parts above it should drop down, which it did there. So I think that it is possible that, and that's a good mechanic. I think that their new base building system is far superior to the old one.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Personally, I know a lot of people are on the fence saying, I don't like the idea of having it be so modular and having the timer and everything, but you got to think there's very little option of making something that it can actually have this kind of a raid system to where we don't run into the exact same problems we had before. People constantly just destroying everything you have all the time. Because that's what we did. I mean, you get people that are bored. You get 20 guys online at one time. It's like, well, what do we do?
Blow up anything that's in sight.
We blow up every single base we can come across. And those people come in and they're like, I'm going to move servers, or we're done. And then you're the only one sitting on the server, and it becomes a boring game.
Yeah.
So I think that this is a better option. I know some people don't like the idea of the timer, but I think that that's what this game needs. I give them credit for that, and that's part of the new that I was talking about. They're trying to come up with new concepts. I think they looked at the problems of the old one and they said, this is something that we have to figure out to be able to make this game playable in the long term.
Yes. And I've made this point, Brian, very clear since day one. There was a whole bunch of people that were, taking a dump on the new base building system. The old system didn't work. We don't know yet if this new system will work. It may be just as big of a failure as the last one, but at least they tried. Like, I will give, you may listen to this show and go, oh, wow, they hate Daybreak. They hate H1Z1. Absolutely not. I am willing to give them credit where credit is due. They have tried a completely new, unique base building system. Yep. If it works, fantastic. Yep. If it doesn't, all right, you tried. So I'm giving them full credit.
I respect
for
this more than the EverQuest mindset of, well, it works, let's leave it. I mean, if you look at that's what my complaint is about EverQuest. It's been the same game for almost 20 years, and they've done very, very little to fix it. They've done almost nothing to fix it. These guys are looking and saying, you know what, rather than just supporting the handful of players that we have that love the old map and the old way of doing it, let's see if we can make a game that the people bought or wanted to buy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I think that I get frustrated with their engine. And as I said, that is not these new developers' fault. They're stuck working with just a horrible, horrible situation. And I think these guys are trying to make the best of it. But I think their hands are incredibly tied because Forge Light is a pile of crap. I mean, it is just a huge piece of junk engine.
In 2017, to be clear.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying, and when it came out, it was mediocre.
Yeah,
right?
but you have to remember, Brian. At the time, there was there wasn't Unreal and Unity at the extent.
Yeah.
I mean, so
yeah.
this,
and so
and this
I mean,
is the thing.
You could say so when the original EverQuest engine came out, that was groundbreaking.
Yes.
But I'm talking about the Forge Light that they have that they're working off of now. When it came out, it was behind the times already.
Okay.
And so because it's not the exact same engine of what was in EverQuest day.
Gotcha.
And so that's the thing, though, is they've been working with an engine that's far out of date, and they've created multiple new games on an engine that they knew was out of date and wouldn't be able to be improved upon. And that's the part that I get incredibly frustrated with.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely frustrating. You know, I'll
Now, Falcon Watch, he does bring up a point. They have EverQuest 2, which looks better than 1. But my thing is why are they still creating content for 1? And why not rebrand it? There's not a single computer that is still is slow enough
Amnon's
to be
watching.
able to be like, oh, I can't. Still, he could run EverQuest 1 10 times on his computer at one time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
That's the issue. Is there's nothing is holding them back from improving that game. They have dedicated staff building content and working on the game. I can't believe that a single one of them haven't said, how about we try to improve the graphics? 20 years, not a single person has said, let's try to improve the graphics on this game. That just shows me the mindset of the company.
I'm not disagreeing with you. So, again, God, I feel like I feel like I'm doing a disservice to the people that are listening to this show, Brian, because I mean, our description of this has been very negative so far, and we'll get into some patch notes and we'll cover some of the cool stuff. I just want people to understand that I want this game to succeed, but I've had enough. Like, want the game to succeed. I want everything to go well, but I just can't sit here and go, yep, and now this is finally, now they're finally going to do it. It's, they've tried it a couple times in the past, and those have all been absolute failures, but, here we go. This is the time they're going to do it. And I feel like I'm doing a kind of a disservice to people, but I mean, it's just my raw emotion on it. They've tried this over and over again.
They should look at, I mean, they should take notes from something like 7 Days to Die.
Yes.
7 Days to Die does not have beautiful graphics.
No, absolutely.
But you know what?
Not.
The gameplay is fun.
Very fun.
And so that's the thing, is they've taken something that doesn't have the best graphics and they've gotten people to play it, and people enjoy playing it when they do. And I think that that's where they're struggling of how can we make the most fun out of a game that doesn't look good. But the thing is, the engine ties their hands so much, they don't have the flexibility that 7 Days to Die has. They have very limited amount they can do with the map. They can't, for goodness sakes, put water that you can swim in. They can't put caves in so where you can go underground. Like, that just shows you how limited this engine is. 7 Days to Die is a full terraform system. Like, you can dig a tunnel and create a network of tunnels underneath that, if you do too much, they might cave in.
Yeah, you create a tunnel and don't put supports, it collapses on you and kills you.
Yeah. So that's the thing is like, I don't know that I think it's great that they're making a game that, they're trying to fix it, but I can't get over the fact that I feel like, what's the point at this point? What is the point anymore? Like, you can only make it so far, and then you're still stuck with that engine. Like, I wish a year ago they would have said, let's try a new engine out. Yeah, it doesn't have to be the engine that I prefer, but it could be Amazon's engine. It could be anything, right? But try something else. They would have a game that's so much farther along than this one is now if they would have done it even a year ago when they said we're starting over.
Yeah. It's a tough situation. I mean, the company, I almost would be, this is going to sound real bad. We're never doing an interview with them again. I would almost, no, I wouldn't almost, I would pretty much be satisfied if they would have just dropped Just Survive. and just started working on it. And obviously they are working on new projects. I mean, they put out a hiring thing. And then this is the other thing too. They released this, and Super brings this up in the chat. It's not even the full map. It's like it's a one more section than what we had last time. So before we had like a little quadrant up north in the northeast. This is just an additional quadrant to it too. So it's not, and this is what's so weird is they're trying to rebrand the game, yet they don't. It's not even a final product. This is why this whole thing is so weird to me.
They should have rebranded once they had something and said, "Hey, here's the new H1Z."
Not had something, Brian. Had the entire game complete. I mean,
that'd be the point. That'd be the time to do a rebrand and to say, "This is our reboot. This is the fresh. This is something different." Start from here. But that's the thing is they're starting from just a little bit beyond. I mean,
it's essentially the test server.
Change. Yeah.
It's a little bit farther on from the test server, which again is fine.
But now they can drop trying to dual support those things. They don't have to. I mean, the thing is they were probably trying to still fix bugs in the old one so people could play a little bit. If there was something going on. Now they can focus 100% on this, which is fine.
And PH brings up a good point. Now you may just say, "Oh, new game, new name." You played this game a year and something ago. You hated it. Now you launch it again because you think it's a new name and it's an unfinished product, and you're going to go to hell with these people. I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, I hated it before, and now I'm playing with a game that's not done. And again, I understand early access, please. I mean, this is all we talk about. But
we've been early access for how many years now? And it's just started.
Yeah,
pretty much the game is just started. We're years in.
It's just survived. It's just started. I mean, it's yeah. I
would almost have them.
Why rebrand?
I mean, if they're doing a total rebrand, that would be the opportunity to say, you know what, we're doing a new engine.
Yeah, new.
I mean, honestly.
Well, no, I mean, I wouldn't even go as far as that. I would just say the point of if you're going to rebrand your name, at least have the final product. I mean,
but the thing is they could be where they're at right now in 6 months on a new engine. Where they're at right now, they could be in 6 months.
I'm not having this argument. We're not having this conversation.
I know, but I promise you.
Brian, I agree with you, but it's not realistic. I mean, it
is.
It's not, but I can say I'm going to go.
I'm saying it's not Daybreak realistic.
Exactly.
It is realistic.
Well, yes, of
Daybreak
course.
Daybreak would never go for it.
You know what, Brian? Let me tell you something, Brian. I'm a listener of this show. Why don't you go do it, you scumbag? Sick of this crap. You and your I could do it better. Go do it yourself, okay? Go make H1Z1. This is ridiculous.
Make H1Z1.
The name is free now. You can feel free to use it. Sure, there wouldn't be any black suits.
Well, I mean, look at Dead Matter. Dead Matter is making a zombie survival game, and can you argue and say that graphics wise and probably in most other ways wise that it wouldn't be better than what Just Survive is going to be?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
It'd be hard for him to mess it up more.
Yes. But see, this is the thing with H1Z1, and this is what's so important. This is why I'm so critical. If they would have re-released a kick-ass game, and there's some kick-ass features here, Brian. We both agree the modular base building system is completely kick-ass. It rocks.
It could better. Yeah.
It could save the game. I mean, it is the key feature that you and I have literally bitched about for 2.5 years. Is the base building and how bad it was. Like, this is our big complaint. They've got that. I think this modular system with the strongholds and the regeneration, I think that's the system that will work. If they would have just waited until they had a final product and rebranded it, they could have pulled old people that hated the game back in with a brand new, sleek, slick product, and people probably would have said, wow, this is fun, this is great, I'm going to continue to playing this. But they now essentially published their test server to live under a new name, under a new logo, under new social media, new website, new Reddit, new Twitter. Why? It's not a finished product.
Now they'll be doing a whole new reboot again here in
6 months.
When they finally release it. Yeah. When they have the map done, they'll be like, oh, now it's another new game, so let's jump on this.
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. And again, if somebody from Daybreak is listening to this, these criticisms come out of love for the game. But it just, unless there's some overarching higher thing that's going right over our heads, get in touch with us, Daybreak. We'll love to have you on the show. But I don't understand. This just doesn't make any logical sense that you would
But I do think
I
think these new developers are doing the best with what they have available.
I agree with you completely.
I am not. I think that these are much better developers than what we had 2 years ago. These guys are actually doing something, and my frustration is not with them. I'm sure that they didn't. I mean, they may say, "Hey, we need to start fresh," but the frustration is with the product and the platform. My frustration is with the product and the platform, and Daybreak as a whole. I think that they just have a bad hand that they're dealt, but they're trying to play the best game that they can with the hand they're dealt.
Yeah, I mean yeah, exactly. I mean,
frustrating.
It is very frustrating, and I'm sure it's frustrating for some of the people working there. But I mean, now what I will say is this new team is completely responsible for this idiotic name change at a point where a name change doesn't make a lick of sense. I mean, it's just it just doesn't make it. I mean, Brian, we did a name change. We literally changed it from the Infection, the H1Z1 podcast to Infection, the Survival podcast, and it was like, holy hell, everything, the wheels are falling off, and nothing changed. But it was just crazy. Like, they have now rebranded a new, and here's the thing, I've said that I've asked every game developer that I have interviewed on this show, I think, if speak to the person that played your game early on and hated it, and tell them why they should come back and play your game right now. And if I was to ask that to somebody on Daybreak right now, I feel that I'm confident they would completely feed me a line of BS. Because what are you going to say to someone? Well, we've got, what do we have?
Base building.
What do we have? 16th of the map done, or an 1/8 of the map done? Like that in a alpha of a new base building system?
I think in 6 months they can answer that question, but the thing is, that's what they should have waited for.
Exactly. That's my point. Is I'm sure there are people that are looking in their Steam library. I mean, I haven't even looked at this in Steam. Has it completely changed names? There's going to be people that say this up there and go, "Oh, hot dog."
I mean, I saw the new icon.
That's big.
Yeah, it's called Just Survive now in Steam.
So people are going to see this in their Steam library and go, "What is?" It's somebody that you have to remember, and when I say you have to remember, Brian, I'm talking to you and talking to the people that listen to the show. Most of the people that own H1Z1, what's it, 3.5 million or whatever, do not follow the development of the game. They've never followed the development of the game. They played it, they liked it, maybe they continued playing. They played it, they hated it, they haven't played since. They see a new name, new logo, they download it, they launch it, and they go, "What in God's name am I playing right now?" Well, you've lost them all, and they're never coming back now.
They're early on. But the thing is, it's so early on in the concept of, like, even the story. You go in there, there's not really an objective now, and I think that's kind of the danger. Is like, what do you do? Like, they need to get more of the questing system or some sort of objective in there, because right now you just run around and try not to die, and then you try to build a base. I don't think there's enough to really warrant going in there and keeping people playing for months. I mean, you'll have those hardcore people that do.
Yep.
But I don't think you're really going to have that many people that they'll play it for a week and they'll be like, "Okay, I saw it," but I'm going to wait till they have more.
Yeah. I mean, most people will launch it that really disliked it and just say, I don't like, gone, never play it again. And I mean, if you ever want to, and this is important for game developers, especially a game like H1Z1 that has so many sales. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. They have 2.8 million sales. How do you win those people back? There's like a couple thousand people playing the game. There's been a couple thousand people playing the game for the last year. And this, I think, was their chance to potentially win some of those people back. And it's just not, my whole frustration with this, it does not appear to be a good start. Prove me wrong, please. Be my guest. Prove me wrong. But it's not a good start for a rebranding of a game when you're literally releasing unfinished stuff into the live version. I mean, that's the whole point of test server. Keep it on test server till it's done. Then release.
Well, and one thing they're doing now too is you're limited to 4 characters per account, so you can only be on 4 total servers.
Why? What's the rationale behind that?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't think I ever had more than 2. But I mean, what's the reasoning? Are they trying to control the size of their database? Is there some overarching technical problem that
they don't want somebody having an account character on every single server?
Again, but you can only be logged into one at a time. So what's space in a database? Yeah. I mean, you're talking, bytes here and bytes there. I mean, I just think I would hope there's an overarching reason. So let's. Do you
want to jump into some of these notes?
Yeah, let's stop with the speculate. Well, I don't know. Let's stop with the commentary because there's a whole bunch of rants. There's a whole bunch of patch notes here, Brian. I'll tackle the first couple and then you can jump in or whatever. I'm sure we'll have some things to say about this. So the first thing is that they've added the first region to the Badwater Canyon map. This is the Pine Mill Reservoir. So this is that new area that is in the map. And again, some of these things were in test server, but you have to remember this is the first time that the game has gone to live. So some of these things are going to be repeats. For example, players now spawn in the military base. We've talked about this. This is a safe environment. It's protected by snipers. NPCs can't get in there. It's a free area. It's a safe area right when you spawn off the game. So there's no more spawning in the middle of nowhere. Some guy comes by and hits you with an axe and you're dead. That's the first thing. Second thing, players can now sell items for Golden Eagle coins. This is their money system. And they have an NPC in the game that you trade objects, weapons, items with to get these coins back. Why are the coins so important? The coins are now used to purchase basic items and tools. And of course, on top of that, allows you to purchase these stronghold locations, which are these predefined base pads. There are some 1x, some 3x2s, some 4x4s, whole bunch of predefined. There's like 200 on a map too. It's freaking massive. There's a crap ton of them. So whole bunch of these things on the map. Use your Golden Eagle coins that you get from the trader or from other players or whatever. You purchase your stronghold. Stronghold is essentially the base building system out of this. It's a modular base building system, and you can you craft things on top of it and so on and so forth. The strongholds, the rating system, which is huge. This is important. This is awesome. There's a real rating system now, not just blow down their door, steal their stuff, leave. That clan never plays again.
You have to time your raids a little bit now.
Yeah, and before it was like you'd lock in, you'd steal everybody's stuff, and in some cases, depending on how badly you raided, that group literally may never play the game again on that server. Like they just literally flips table. And there's just
people that were down to foundations. Like if someone really didn't like that group, you could blow their whole base up down to the foundation.
I mean, look at Ark, Brian. We got destroyed. I mean, I could use some choice words. I won't. I mean, we got leveled in Ark, and we never played again.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
On that server since.
I mean, it was fun, and I'd do it again, and we probably will do it again. But it was just different with H1Z1. It would be to the point where it was like, God damn it, everything I have is gone. Everything completely gone. And it was just this frustrating thing because
then you balance, is it worth rebuilding again?
No.
You're like, no.
Off to the next game.
Do something else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that this rating system is important. So you build your base, you get raided, and the raid starts when an enemy player shoots a projectile, shoots a bullet, arrow, or hits your base. Now that there's a whole countdown timer. So the way that this goes is that the rating system will be triggered, and what happens is that there's a timer on the raid. If you've got if you're raiding the base, the clock runs out. There will be toxic gas that will be shot over the base pad. You will die from it eventually. If you don't somehow, it will literally eject you out of the base. So there's a limited time that you have to, gain entry, get in, get your stuff, and get out. It's time now. It's not just from the hours of 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. when nobody bothers to play the game. So there's a set timer here. And at the end of the raid, the base that was raided will enter a rebuilding period where the resources will be rebuilt and it will be shielded for 1 hour, protecting it from raids from the same group, a different group, and NPCs, zombies, so on and so forth. Another big change is that loot has been completely re-itemized, a whole bunch of new items. The tiers, we've talked about those. The guns, different qualities now, different healths on them, different just versions. Rusted out gun is not going to ever be pristine. It's rusted out. Colors, tintable, as my favorite word is. Crafting, completely different. A whole bunch of overhauls with that. The Discovery tab has actually been removed because that now I want to get your opinions on this. What do you think of the Discovery system being removed? I think you were kind of a Discovery person.
Yeah, I mean, kind of having a sense of, I might be able to unlock something else, but I don't think anyone really ever took it to the limits of it. Like no one ever really found no one ever really went and found all the recipes.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably what they're looking at is there's a point where people are just like, I don't know what the next thing is. And they didn't want to go look on a website and look up what they needed because obviously they didn't care.
Now, I'm sorry.
So I don't think that it was enough of a priority for them to say, let's just show them what they can make, and they just have to let's make it harder to find the inventory items.
And PH makes a good point. See, it's a casual survival game. And I mean, this is literally the definition of a filthy casual. Like there's no skills, there's no unlocking. It's just like if you have
if you want a hardcore survival game, I mean, there's different kinds of hardcore.
Right, I'm not talking about hardcore. I mean, I wouldn't classify Ark as hardcore.
Like Rust is a PvP, highly PvP oriented survival.
Correct.
Right. I don't think they're really necessarily going for that level.
No, but I mean, Ark, I wouldn't consider Ark a hardcore. In Ark, you get Ingram points and you learn things. I mean, this is just like you spawn in the game. If you have the resources, you can literally build it. No levels, no nothing, no knowledge. If somebody drops you the resources, you can build it. And I've kind of got a problem with that. I mean, it does really take the seniority is not the right word, but the putting in the time to get to a level. I mean, Jesus, in Ark, I mean, it was like a constant grind to get to the next item, to get to the next object.
I bet you they'll probably look at this and maybe go to a system where you have to kind of level up to be able to unlock things, like a lot of them end up doing.
7 Days does it. Ark does it.
I think that's about where it will go to, because that's the only way you can really kind of stagger the level up process and make it happen something over time. Because I think that's what they're going for, is that day one, when you log in, you don't have everything. You have to work a process to be able to get all these things. Well, I think that's what they're going to end up having to do, because the discovery process wasn't really something that staggered. It's just you'd have to just kind of guess or know what you're trying to make. They could go to a system that actually makes you play for a certain amount of time and accomplish a certain amount of things to be able to unlock something. And I think that'd be more, I bet you they'll go there, within 6 months, they'll be doing that.
Very, very possible. It is just, I mean, it's just, I have a hard time. There's this, for me specifically, Brian, I'm not speaking for anybody else besides myself. My play style, I need something to keep me logging in. And a level,
you need something to grind towards a little
bit. But see, there's a fine balance, because I'm not a fan of grinding towards levels, or I just won't do it. Okay, I mean, 7 Days to Die is probably just about the limit. I won't do anything harder core than 7 Days to Die in terms of grinding for levels. I just won't do it. It's not my play style. But I need something. I'm not a fan of the grind to unlock stuff, but I just need a little bit. I need something to be like, hey, there's like, even if it was just a level, I mean, I don't even need like Ingram points where it's like, you got to pay to unlock stuff. Just, certain levels, you just unlock a whole bunch of garbage. Like, it is what it is. Like, just as you level up, you just unlock like 20 things when you level up. That would be fine. I don't need a whole skill Ingram. I'm not a fan of that.
Have it, I mean, that's the thing, is have it to where you get a little XP when you craft something, you get a little XP when maybe you break, you gather something like from the vehicle when you harvest that. I think they could just have something that over time kind of just levels you up, and then it just gives you extra ability.
Yeah. So we'll see how that, how that works, if that's a big deal for people. I say it now, but again, this is before playing it. Combat has been completely rebalanced. This is a big thing. Multiple tiers of weapons, classifications. We've talked about that. Healing items, medicine, and consumables have been rebalanced. Body sim updates to provide a more consistent experience. That's a big word that they use. Consistent. This game is literally lacked. I would argue to say its biggest problem was consistency. Things were not consistent. Case in point, the shotgun, which, I mean, they showed it in the trailer. Hopefully it's fixed, because it's just the inconsistencies were, it was almost inconceivable how inconsistent things were. It was like, how have you guys not figured out how your math works? I mean, that's how these things happen.
And I think it came down to their incredibly sloppy
programming
net code to be able to make it so that players could play from 300, 400 ping, and still feel like they were playing in real time. And I think that that's what it came down to, is that made the inconsistency, that they were having so many compensation things in there that you couldn't have people truly playing on the same level, right?
Yeah.
Shotguns can't perform right because they're giving so much leeway for someone who might have a really high ping. I think, I think now they're kind of cutting that down and figuring it out. I mean, I don't know how it took them 2.5 years to figure that out, but they're figuring that out. Oh, wait, we can't have everybody play at 700 ping and be okay with shooting bullets in real time.
Ping. Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, someone could get up to 700 ping and they'd still be running around on the map. And it would, if they send an update every 10 seconds, it'd be like, oh, you're still there. Thanks. I mean, how do you play with someone like that?
Back to you. So, no, I agree. I mean, that was definitely a big problem. Now, this next one is very interesting, Brian. And again, I mentioned this earlier. Barricades can now be placed on cabin doors and windows to fortify locations for players. Why did I say this is big? The reason I said this is important is because they got rid of the shacks. The shack was where you as a clan, you as a single person, you as a small group were able to get your start. It was a place where you could at least store some basic stuff instead of just digging it in the ground or logging out with it. Those are your options. You either, if you didn't have a shack, you were putting it in what the hell do they call those things? The little holes that you dig.
No, they're not. They're I don't.
Whatever. Putting it in.
Not the hidey holes. That's the right word.
Yeah. Digging it into the ground, storing it in one of those things, or a stash. Thanks, Falcon.
Stash. There you go.
You're either putting it into a stash or logging out with it. Those are your two options. Now, when you got a little bit further on, you could use a shack or some type of building to store stuff. Now that they've gotten rid of those, that's why. And I got to give them credit for this, Brian. This is the balance that I'm talking about. They either, I would hope that they meant to do this. Maybe it's an accident. But removing those shacks, they needed an intermediate step. They've already got these structures in the game. I would imagine it is going to be pretty simple to fortify a small house. You find a remote house, you can fortify it enough to get your stronghold started. And that's what's important, because if people struggle to get their if they struggle to continue to have the resources to build a stronghold, it's never going to happen. If I log out and every time I log in, all of my stuff is gone before I can even get a base started, we're done. Like, it's just not going to happen. So I'm really hoping that they intentionally, added the barricades to pre-built, structures to allow things like this to happen, because there's no, I mean, we had this problem when we were playing on the test server, this group of hackers, because we didn't have enough resources to just build a wall, was just come and snipe us over and over again, because we just literally could not get the resources to build the square that we needed to in terms of walls. So that was a big problem. So hopefully this deals with that. They added new fortifications and traps that players can use to fortify strongholds and barricade a whole bunch of points of interest across the map. Improved car and tree harvesting and added rock harvesting with the new pickaxe tool. So we have a new pickaxe coming to the game. Revamped the player stash. This is important now. The stash, instead of being an open, just a hole in the ground that you could interact with and see all the items, it is now a lockbox that is invisible to all players beyond a few meters. It will be placed on your marker, so there should probably be a little shovel icon where you place it. But it's a locked box now, according to them. So that's very interesting.
Now they can destroy it, though.
They can destroy it, absolutely.
They can break it open.
Yes, which I would imagine will happen. But I don't think it'll be like a punch to break open. I would imagine it'll have to have a tool.
I think that's what they hinted at, is it's something that takes a decent amount of resources to be able to break into. So people are going to decide, well, if this person doesn't even have a base yet, is it really worth spending resources to break into this? Yeah,
absolutely. Added several, this is big, Brian, decoration recipes. I mean, we've talked about this. No customization in the game.
We'll be showing some off here in a little bit.
Yes, we will.
The new crate.
Brian and I said that we would have, Brian and I, when we were playing H1Z1, probably would have spent $20 to $50 a piece to get a custom banner in the game with our freaking logo on it, Brian. I'm going to speak for me. I'd spend it probably $50 to make that happen. If it costs $100, we would 100% have split that cost and made that happen because that stuff rocks. Now, this decoration isn't quite to that level, but it's a start. And that's important.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Ark. You can do whatever the hell you want. You can, I mean, same thing with 7 Days Out. You can now repaint things. I mean, we had a lady.
Yeah, you can make your own signs. You can make your own maps, war room maps like we did.
Yeah, with our pictures of all of the wonderful presidents. I mean, look at Lady when we were playing 7 Days to Die. She had her room was painted all these different colors, and it was customized, and it was just cool. I mean, it wasn't. Yeah. Was it useful? No. Was it meaningful? No. But it was freaking awesome. Like, it was just
when you have a big group of people, like, that's the stuff that they enjoy.
Exactly. So some decoration
that they'll work for, or they'll pitch in some money for it.
Yeah. And we would have pitched it. We would have suckered right up for that, Brian. So some decoration items in there: stronghold utilities, storage, barbecues, workbenches, etc. And traps can now be placed by pressing E. Traps now ignore friendly targets, which is good. If on a stronghold, they don't trigger if anybody is in the permission system. Stronghold utilities and other free place items can now be destroyed on PvE when placed outside a stronghold to prevent griefing. Big problem on PvE. People were literally on the old map, every item, every possible object in the game, house, building, was blocked off. You literally couldn't get into anything. I mean, these people.
If you go into the city, there were so many chests, the containers along the ground that you would lag out the second that you entered a city area.
Yeah.
I mean, it was horrible.
And let's see, where was I? Wrenches no longer spawn in PvE to prevent vehicle hoarding. That's big. Again, recognize.
Because people can't damage your vehicle. You could just always keep it alive.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, again, problem identified. Hopefully this is the fix. Increased repair amount for wrenches in PvP. That's big. Campfires now drop their contents after being destroyed. That's a bug that they didn't before. Zombies no longer pick up the contents of dead players' loot bag. Now, what do you think about this, Brian? Because this never used to be the case. They added it. It was cool, and now they've disadded.
I think they were running into issues of it. For some reason, it would create multiple copies. Because remember,
duping,
we could get the same one over and over again. Like you'd go to the same area, and it's like you'd keep finding the same zombie that had all that loot in it, even though you killed it a bunch of times. So I think that's probably more of what they're trying to get around is maybe they'll bring it back at some point if they can fix that.
Yeah.
If they can fix that issue, because people were able to they just keep on running over the same area and be like, oh, found the one that has the full shotgun. It's got a sniper rifle. It's got all the stuff that I need. Let's just keep on running over zombies in this area.
Yes. I guess my sarcasm wasn't clear when I said disadded. I'm familiar. I know that's not a word. It was I want to make sure my sarcasm got through clearly. I see. No, I'm all screwed up. Reduce zombie clumping for the net result of fewer zombies spawning immediately near a player. Big problem on the test server. You'd literally walk outside and there was just like zombies were just there was nothing there, and then it was just like a whole bunch of zombies. Wow, a whole bunch of zombies.
We had that happen when we were playing. We were around that gas station. And like zombies just kept on dropping out of the air.
It's crazy.
You turn around 2 seconds later and then you'd have 3 around you. And it's just like, okay, what in the world's going on?
Yeah. And then we would just get into kind of a couple. Do you want to cover any of these fixes? I mean, how important are the rest of these things?
I mean, they fixed a number of exploits. In like there's a drone exploit. I don't know what that is, but then the sneaking exploit where people could go along the ground, that's been around for so long. I mean, we've had that in the opening area of the BRs to where people are sneaking along the ground, going at faster speeds. So I don't know if that was a fix they finally rolled over to Just Survive, or if it's something new that was happening. Here was another one: fixed an additional navigation exploit involving the sit command. This is probably something similar. Remember a long time ago, they fixed to where you'd sit in a chair and you could teleport across the map.
Yep.
Silly things like this, like, or you could sit and it would like you go really fast. So I don't know. I'm glad that they're fixing. It's been a while since they've had a list of fixes, and I don't know if a lot of these were, we don't want to bother going into the old code because we've started so fresh on this new code that it's not worth going and fixing them. So a lot of these things people have been living with and Just Survive for a long time. And now that they've rolled this over, they're actually getting all the fixes that have been made for this game. So yeah. That's a good thing.
Now I've got a couple, a couple other things I highlighted on here. This is a big one. Added multi-sell / multi-salvage options for stacks of items. So in test server, you'd have to, if you had 20 of an item, you would right click and sell 20 times.
So one at a time.
Yeah. So they've thank God added this feature. And this one is interesting, Brian. It's a sad moment for me. Removed the radio tab from the UI. They do say it will return in a future update. I don't know why, because it's useless. Goodbye.
Okay.
Hello, darkest mind.
They need to come up with they had that podcast or that YouTube video that had all those radio broadcasts and everything. Survivor Radio. That would be the reason to bring it back.
Yep.
Give people something that kind of brings them into the moment. That's an excellent way to tell the lore of the game. That's an excellent way to tell the story that they haven't told up to this point. Why did it happen? How did it happen? What's the rumors behind why it happened? They could get all that out of the way with a stupid little radio that you carry around, and you can listen to the lore in your own time if that interests you.
Yeah, absolutely. So overall, a big update, a big change. The game literally has a new name, new logo, new presence on the internet. Big update. I think we did a decent job of explaining. I mean, we don't just have this like vitriol hate for the game. I mean, I think we've got reasons to back it up. I mean, I'm not just sitting here and be like, oh, H1Z1 sucks. I hate Daybreak. I mean, I think we've done a decent job to explain our, our frustrations and maybe some of our caution against just blindly following. Oh, it's a new name, new logo. Everything is fixed. I'm not just going to blindly follow that. Again, I will give them credit where credit is due. This is a very, very, obviously it's a big update, but this is the very, very first step. So we will see how they continue. I'm looking forward to it.
Let's look at the crate, because there's some new things in here that there's been speculation of, and this is finally them showing some of those new things. One thing is having tintable pieces of base materials.
Check it out.
Having paint. I mean, this is a blue rough paint, a red rough paint. This adds a lot of variety, and it's not hard for them to do. I mean, this guy had to have taken somebody, an afternoon to make all of them.
Yeah, I mean,
these little signs. I mean, just being able to put banners up on, putting a mat in front of the door. I mean, these are silly little things that give that sense of customization to a base that we mentioned it a long time ago. Let people put up banners.
How much, do you think after what we just did, do you think it'd be possible for us to get our own banner in the game?
No. We almost got our own server one time, but we will not get a banner.
Appreciate your honesty. The skull campfire is cool. I really like this. This would be cool to have in the base. So yeah, this is cool, man.
They have the guns. I mean, it's a Game of Thrones pretty much with guns. Mm-hmm. They have a chandelier, which is a deer antler chandelier.
Oh wow, that's cool.
It's not gold. It's just that's the lights.
Very very cool.
You can have a wolf's head on your. Now there's a duck in there, but there's no ducks in the game. Is there? Maybe they're.
No, I think it's just a carved wood duck. Carved wood duck. It's just a.
What about the zombie? There's a gravestone. I wonder if that's going to have anything other than is it purely decorational?
Yeah, it is. And unfortunately, I feel like this is turning into like a Club Penguin per se. I'm sure you're too. You're not too old, but you're too old to have played a game like that where you would just kind of throw stuff inside of a house. And yes, I'm talking about.
What about the preserved zombie head recipe? Like see that where it's like a zombie head inside of?
Yeah, and I see that, but I mean, doesn't this turn into almost? I mean, Brian, you've played. I'm trying to think of a game, before that. You just kind of like unlock these like little items, and you just put them on tables and on floors, just because it was like, oh, hey, look, I got this new item.
They're trying to give you stuff to just try to get. They're trying to think of how can we, because here's where King of the Kill went wrong, right? They went through and they said, oh, we need skins to sell. We need skins to sell. So they came up with every single variation of crazy, wacky skin you can come up with. This is the equivalent with base decorations, right? Having all these skull head things on here and hanging bodies and, signs you can put on the side. But you know what? It's limited to your base. I don't have to see it every 2 seconds in my face of your stupid, sorry, Joe, My Little Pony outfit that you're running around with.
Damn.
And so, you know what I'm saying? So like, this is something where people can get crazy stuff and they can put it in their base. You know what? I don't have to go to your base and I don't have to see it. So I think this is a much better way to get money out of people and get people opening crates and rolling for things without having to resort to having tie-dye everything and, bright every single color you can think of. If you look at the skins that they have in here, nothing is too ridiculous, and I appreciate that.
Some of it's actually pretty damn cool. I like this backpack.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is I think that they're trying to rein it in on the craziness that runs around. And I think that at some point they might reskin some of the old textures.
I think they should.
And to get rid of, they need to. But I think that's a lot of resources right now. But I think that that's where they're going to end up having to go if they want to make this game something that doesn't have the worst screenshots ever, like King of the Kill does.
It's important, man. People may laugh and be like, screenshots are irrelevant. Screenshots on Reddit is what sells video games.
H1Z1, if I search for H1Z1 on Google image search, and you like H1Z1 outfits, there is just a ridiculous amount of the worst outfits, and that's what people see. I mean, so H1Z1 outfits, do image search, and you just see purple and bright red, and I mean, it's just a bunch of, there's the Macho Libre.
That's my favorite.
It's just a bunch of stuff, and it's
a good one.
It doesn't add to the game at all, and I think it's
solid text on this thumbnail on YouTube.
H1Z1 cheap, good outfit.
PowerPoint text. I mean, geez, I'm just ripping this guy new one, but nevertheless, I mean, these are the kind of results.
But I think now that, especially, there's been rumors that PlayerUnknown is going to get into the survival market. These guys are going to be in very big trouble if they can't, if they make a game that when you hold it up, just like King of the Kill is, you hold it up next to it, and it's like there's visually there's no comparison.
Here's an interesting post. I'm glad I searched this, Brian. This is a post this is a 2-year-old post. This was posted Friday, March 20th, 2015 on the H1Z1 subreddit. And this talks about how they're missing a chance on skins. And the example that is used here is if you want to sell skins, this is the Saints Row skins. This is what Saints Row looks like. This is the kinds of skins that you need to be selling in game. There's a guy. I mean, look at GTA, Brian. You and I played GTA a whole bunch of times. You make your guy. You dress. I mean, my guy wears a suit. Some people, they're beach bums. It's just jeans and a t-shirt.
Yeah,
stuff like that is cool.
But none of those are ridiculous.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Like, they follow a theme. The problem that H1Z1 went off on is there was themes per crate. But overall, there was no theme. And so you start mixing those crates up, and it just looks horrible. And people could come up with just intentionally trolly outfits to say, hey, look how ridiculous I look. Isn't that funny? But that's the thing, is an immersion person like me looks at it and is like, this is so stupid. I don't want to play this game anymore.
There you go.
Where when I go and I play a game like Battlegrounds, I run around and I'm not pulled out of the immersion constantly. It's visually it's a fun game to play, and it looks good.
Yeah, well, yes, there are ridiculous outfits in GTA, of course. But my whole point is there are outfits. There's customization. H1Z1 doesn't really have that. There's like there's just no theme. It's like some of the things they introduce, like the shirt and a helmet and a backpack of the same skin, but there's no pants. Like, you can't even make it work because they don't even have. It's not even in the game.
It's like the problem is they made it totally per crate.
Yeah.
And so the issue is they never finished some of the outfits. So you have some outfits that didn't even go with something because they would do part of them per crate to try to get you to buy all these separate crates. They're like, oh, part of it's but then they don't have the focus to say, oh yeah, we need to finish that outfit and release the second part of it so you actually have the rest of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've been on this for about an hour, Brian. I guess close. Well, let's do some closing thoughts on H1Z1, and then we'll move on. I'll say it again. I'm looking forward to their changes. I'm looking forward to the updates. I'm looking forward to a playable game. Speaking of that, Friday night, this Friday night, folks, mark it down in your calendar. A couple days from now, it's Friday the 18th. Nick is back, and I've been very AFK. But I'm back. We are going to be playing We're going to be playing Just Survive this Friday night at 9 p.m. So what I want everybody to do is, I want everybody to do this that is listening to this show right now, because you're watching the show because of H1Z1. I don't care what you say. You're probably here because of H1Z1 some way or another. Install the game, join Discord, and let's just have some fun. We've had an issue, Brian, the past couple of weeks. Excuse me. Do you have any closing thoughts? And then we'll move into that.
No. I mean, that's the thing is, I know I give Daybreak a hard time, and
that's an understatement.
The thing is I have respect for the current developers. More than anything, I feel sorry for them. And that's part of my frustrations. I don't want to feel like I don't want people to think that I'm harping on and saying that developers aren't doing the best. But as I said, if you hand somebody rotten meat and and trash, and you say, make me dinner, is it the chef's fault at that point? They have horrible ingredients to work with, and they're trying to make the best crap sandwich that they can. But you know what? There's still, that's the ingredients in it. And so it's not the developers. I really feel sorry for what they have to work with, and I hope they can pull something off, because, as I said, everything is stacked against them. If they pull this off, that just shows, man, they've done a good job, if anything, because I don't know how they're going to do it. That's what frustrates me too. So,
yeah, I think you summed that up perfectly, Brian. So coming up Friday night, game of the week, we're going to be playing H1Z1 Just Survive. Now we've had, and this is, and Brian and I had a conversation about this today. And real quick too, I forgot to note, if you log into the game between now and August 22nd, you get 2 free crates. So log in, and so this will be a perfect reason for you to show up Friday night. Install the game, log in, we'll pick a server, we'll have fun. Because we've had an issue with the game of the week, and most of this is Brian and my fault. And this is because originally the concept
I was out of town.
Well, I'm just in
general. I had 2 weeks of family stuff. So like there's been almost a month of me not being able to make. And I made one of them. And I haven't
been there in a month either, because I've just been I moved. And I'm just trying to get all settled with that. But nevertheless, we had the original concept behind Firebomb, thanks for showing up. The original concept behind Game of the Week was to just get everybody together, and it wasn't really as much about the game as it was the community, the talking to the other people. Playing the game honestly, playing the game was a little ancillary. It was just kind of like show up, talk with some people, hang out, play the game for a little while, enjoy
joke around, try to break the game, whatever game we're playing.
And I think we've gotten a little more away from that, where we've turned it into like a just play the game, do whatever, buy. So and part of this too is some other games that have drawn away from our Friday night game. There's a whole bunch of people. Obviously, we have an open Discord server. We invite people to join it every every show. Brian goes on a whole spiel, beginning of the show and end of show. Join our Discord, hang out, play games, whatever. We have a whole bunch of channels. So what we are asking people to do, actually what we're asking them not to do, is on Friday nights when we have a scheduled game night, we are asking you to not invite people to play a different game outside of our game of the week. We've had issues for months now of people just kind of doing their own thing. Again, we're not saying don't play other games, but Friday night during our game during our game of the week, just don't create a group of people playing another game in our Discord. Again, Discord is free. You can create your own server. You can do whatever you want. But we are asking from 9 until 11 on Friday nights Eastern time. If you don't want to play our game, I don't care. Just don't cultivate people to play another game when because for example, Brian gave me an example of a couple of weeks ago when a listener from the podcast showed up that isn't active in Discord and nobody was playing the game of the week because everybody was playing something else. So we're trying to get away from that and try to bring everybody back to game of the week. So we're asking you, if you are playing games in our Discord, again, you can play the games in Discord, more power to you. But we're just asking people to not start up groups for other games or do whatever Friday night between like 9 and midnight, 9 and 11. That's what we're trying to accomplish here, because because
that's the things we used to have a lot of fun, just whatever game it was. It didn't matter what it was. Like the whole part that I think people are missing out on is the fun that we had together.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're going to try to bring that back. We'll try it for a couple of weeks, but we're just asking people to not promote playing another game. Now, this is what it comes down to. Do not tell people to join your game Friday night between 9 and 12. I'll kick you from the server. Plain and simple. This is how we've decided that we have to deal with this, because we're promoting people to come join our Discord. People that aren't in Discord, people that listen to the podcast, and they show up and Friday the 13th is never going to be the game of the week. People show up and there's nobody there. So we're trying to cultivate that. So we're asking people Friday night, you don't have to play our game, but don't invite people to play another game, because it's totally drawn away from our numbers. I think it was Overwatch a couple weeks ago, literally one person was playing.
One person, and it's not someone who usually they joined it from listening to the podcast saying we're going to play Overwatch, and I was out of town, or I wasn't home because I was at a family event, and I logged in on my phone. And I'm like, oh, there's one person who normally doesn't play with us is playing Overwatch, and everyone else is playing Battlegrounds. Yeah, so we play every single day of the week, every single night. We have that one game. We're doing one game different one night a week for 3 hours max. Yeah.
So that's kind of our goal here, is we're just asking people to refrain from curating a group of people to play another game on Friday night. We'd appreciate that, because we're trying to get back to the whole point of game of the week, which was hang out with your fellow viewers of the show, guild, clan members, whatever the hell you want to call yourselves, and just hang out and have a good time. We had a ball. So we're asking people to do that. So Friday night, join us, Discord, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be playing some Just Survive. Get it up, get it installed. I'm sure most of you don't have it installed. Install it, create your account, log in, and join us. We're going to have a great time Friday night. So hopefully people will join in for that. And actually, Brian, we got a question in chat about Minecraft. That's going to be next week.
Yeah, so next week. So I'm trying to plan out a little farther ahead. So this week we're doing Just Survive. Next week we're doing Minecraft. I already have a server that I'm going to go through and figure out what mods we want to do to make it as the most fun possible. And so if you have some suggestions for mods, so this won't be this Friday, but the week after that, I've got a server that I've just had up and running just to test for stability, and it's been going good for a week and a half now. But if you have a suggestion of a fun mod that we could add to the server that doesn't drastically change it to where it's doing something ridiculous, you can send that suggestion to us. And then the week after that, we'll be doing Ark, because
launch
that Tuesday, the day of the show, will be the launch. Well, most likely the servers will be hammered, but we'll probably announce that day what server we're going to try for, and then we'll play that. And I'm sure by Friday we'll still be playing Ark. And I'm trying to time my school to where I'll be done with my school before Ark releases, so that I don't flunk out of college.
I'm going to be working remote a couple of couple of days in a couple of weeks here, as I live like 3 minutes from the office. I'll be working remote for a couple of maybe not feeling great. My throat's a little sore.
I don't know. Come in about 2 weeks here.
In about 2 weeks. Yeah, it's a common cold. So there you go. So prepare yourselves, take some time off work, do whatever, because Ark is going to hit you like a freaking steam train.
It'll be like our Thanksgiving.
Domino's pizza and
oh, we got to change this thing for the next 8 hours.
Domino pizza and Wii U's. That's what happened on my Thanksgiving as I was playing Ark. Purchased a Wii U, ate some Domino's with Ross, played some Ark.
Let's sit here, just wait for I gotta feed him again.
God almighty. So join us Friday night. Look forward to see everybody there hanging out, and we'll have a good time. I'm looking forward to hopefully getting some older members that are a little more silent now. As we don't talk about it, H1Z when nobody plays it. Hopefully we'll get some of them back in. So
yeah.
I think that's
all right. So we want to go and do a giveaway here really quick.
Yeah, I mean, might as well. We're like 3/4 of the way through the show. I feel like I'm doing the H1Z. I feel like I'm the H1Z1 podcast again.
Yeah. All right. So exclamation point giveaway. And 30 points to enter this.
Okay.
And I'm going to be giving away a copy of Resident Evil 6.
Oh.
And this is a $30 game, right? And this is courtesy of Joe, who I'm sorry, my comment, I think made him rage quit a little while ago. But he gave this as a donation to the podcast. And so Resident Evil 6, put exclamation point giveaway in chat, and you can enter for that. And it has very positive to mostly positive reviews. It's an action zombies co-op third-person shooter. So,
yes, and of course, Brian, you speak.
Hopefully, Joe will forgive us.
Yeah, Joe, I'm sure he'll be back. You talked about supporting the show, Brian. A couple of different ways you can do that. Of course, the way that Brian just mentioned, Joe, Unicorn Joe, in our chat had this game, had the key, purchased the key, gave it to Brian. Brian gives it away. Now, I'm normally a fan of contacting both of us with information. If you have a game giveaway, I got contacted this week with a game giveaway. Give it to Brian. I don't do it. It's Brian's segment.
I try to keep it all in a notepad where I can keep track of them.
Yeah. So we've got, Brian, send that over to Brian. That's a way you can contribute to the program and help us. Another way is we have a Pound News channel inside of our Discord. If you see an article, a story, a topic, a game, whatever, you can send us that. I want you to send. You can't send it to us. If 100%, if you see something, send it to us, because I mean, I haven't been home in 4 days. I mean, it's just Brian's doing school, I'm doing whatever. Stuff constantly falls through the cracks. It's just the way it is. So if you see something, send us there. We comb through it before the show, and we can do that. Now, a couple of other ways as well. infectionpodcast.com/support. We have a couple of different ways you can support us on here. Of course, our Amazon program, have a whole bunch of affiliate links from some different countries. Click on the link, buy stuff off Amazon. It supports the show. PayPal, you can send us money directly through PayPal. Or the big way, Humble Bundle. This is the way that everybody's been doing it recently. Our Humble Bundle program. Click on our link, buy some games. It helps us out. Going on right now is the Humble 2K bundle. Whole bunch of stuff in here. XCOM's in here. A whole bunch of XCOM. Bioshock, some Borderlands, Mafia, and then XCOM 2. If you spend $20, you get that for the PS4. And these are all PS3 and PS4 games. It's like a Vita game in here, so
and some Vita games.
Yeah, and some Vita games. So if you're a Sony person, this is a decent bundle, and you can get all the games in here for $20, which isn't too bad of a deal. So check that out. There's a couple of the micro jumbo bundle we talked about. There's some book bundles, the monthly bundle, whole bunch of stuff. infectionpodcast.com/support, and we do appreciate you supporting the show. All right, Brian. we're not even going to scratch the surface on news this week, but we do want to cover Ark because we are literally at release for Ark. We are so close to release. So I'm going to turn the microphone over.
We've been preparing our bodies.
My body is ready. It's not ready for Ark. I just got employed. I can't not go to work for 2 weeks. So I'll throw it to you, Brian. What's going on?
All right. So they had more updates last week. I don't know if you remember, they had 2 to 3 updates. Pretty light ones, but this one a little bit heftier of an update cycle this week, so that's good. This is 264.36. This was released on the 9th. Paintings and / character paints now appear properly in spectator mode, and GPU particles now render properly in SLI / multi GPU mode. This has been something they've been really trying to get working, is improving the performance under SLI, which is the dual video card mode. So that's something that they have recently changed here. 264.4. This is one that for some reason it says no notes published. So they did a fix and they didn't put a single note, which is the first time I've ever seen them do that. So, and that was August 10th. 264.41. This was August 11th. It said GPU performance improvements. Then 264.5. This is a bigger one. A lot of fixes. So I don't know if I'm going to go through them all. Probably about 2 pages worth of fixes, but just fixing exploits. One thing, they've been tweaking also some of the different, maybe the durability levels of things. Like, for instance, the 15% decrease on the ghillie armor durability, and then 10% damage increase to the auto turret. So I think they've really been trying to go through and just balance out the game so that when it comes to release, you don't have things that are overpowered, because that's something that they really take a lot of time with. And then just fixed a lot of fixes for crashes and exploits and just different issues that you've run across. So this is 2 pages worth. I'm not going to go through them all right now. One thing they did do that you may want to keep a note of is they moved the chem bench to level 82. And then the Titanosaur spawn on Carno Island reduced to a max of 1. So on Carno Island, there will be 1 Titanosaur max. You don't have the chance of getting more than 1. So those are some bigger changes. And then 264.52. This is on August 13th. They fixed the client crash related to using the transponder, and they fixed issues with rocket launcher in multiplayer where using the last shot caused the rocket to shoot off to the side. And then the cheat destroyed wild dinos will no longer kill creatures in the process of being tamed. So this is more of a server thing. For some reason, if perhaps you adjusted some of the settings for, you adjusted some of the settings maybe for the spawn rates, or maybe that one dinosaur will show or not show in the world, and then you would go through and do a cheat, destroy wild dinos, or maybe you set the levels, like the max level. It would destroy all the dinosaurs that are in the world that are wild, and then you can start fresh with some of those new higher level ones. So the problem with that though is it would kill the dinosaur that you happen to be taming at the time. And so some people could be really upset if you did that. So that's a pretty big change for people that run private servers. And then 264.53, they fixed a server crash, and that was on August 14th. So that is pretty much getting us current. Now, the one that I skimmed over, that was a pretty big patch. There's a lot of fixes. So if you want to, we're going to be short on time already, and I want to spend 10 minutes reading those off. So that gets us current to Ark. And I'm kind of excited to see what the, is there anything else they're going to be releasing before this upcoming major release? I think this is kind of be it. I think we're just going to see fixes and things like this up until that point. And then I'm really excited to see what is actually going to be released here in 2 weeks, because I think there's a lot of secrets that they're kind of holding on to. And I think it's going to be a much different game than what the vanilla is right now.
Would you say the hype is real?
Yes. I think that this one is legitimate to where it's not,
that wasn't some smart ass remark. I mean, seriously, like at this point in time, I
think there's legitimate hype backing.
Yeah, I mean, they've got hype. I
think there's a legitimate. And the thing is I think that these guys have created enough content behind the scenes without showing all their cards. I think there's a lot that they'll have to show, and people will log in and have that fresh experience that a lot of us, have really enjoyed about the first time. I mean, that's part of my favorite part of doing games like this, is kind of that new feeling of not knowing everything. I kind of get more bored of a game once I know where everything is. Some people really get into the then like, okay, I know everything about it, and now I'm just going to, use it to my advantage over and over again. For me, I like the not knowing and running around and discovering things for the first time the most.
Me too. I would second that thought.
So, and then the King of the Kill, they had an update this week on 8.10, and then there was an interesting video. I don't know after this if we want to really show too much of it. I was more interested in what the person said, but they've been really doing a lot of adjustments to they call this the combat update.
Okay.
They're trying to fix the way that recoil works. And so I'm just going to read some of this right now. It says weapons have all been retuned and improved so that they behave and feel more like the real world counterparts and have a distinct and important role in the game. And Nick, do you think this is a response to Battlegrounds and the fact that weapons actually feel unique? And there's a reason to pick up one over the other?
Yes, I do. Now, first of all, I've got to say, I really hate when games say guns acting like their real life counterparts. I mean, that's just stupid. I mean, I'm not looking for a real life counterpart. I'm looking for a freaking video game gun.
Yeah, but you want something that
true
for that gun. Like if it's a sniper, like it feels good like a sniper.
Yes,
you
I
got that.
agree.
It's not going to be real to where I missed almost all the shots because somebody's moving.
Yeah.
I've
got unlimited ammo. It's fantastic.
Yeah. But I think that people realized, man, these guns in Battlegrounds feel so much better.
Oh, they do.
You just feel like that's gratifying when you shoot somebody that's running and you time it right.
Yeah.
So I think that's more what they're aiming for.
Yes.
So it says overall bullets. Go ahead.
Brian, you've hit the nail right on the head. It literally, I'm sure they're like Battlegrounds, damn you. Like, what you're up showing us on guns.
Have good feeling weapons.
Yeah.
And so it's here they said aiming down sights will now I jumped in. Overall bullets now move at a more believable speed and with a flatter trajectory. So though bullets still begin to drop over long distances, rifle rounds fly fastest and flattest, while pistol rounds hit hard up close but lose power over distance. Do you think they fixed the Magnum? That's what I want to know. Do you think the Magnum still shoots like a sniper rifle?
Yeah, but then they changed that.
Assuming that they fixed it.
Yeah, but they changed that a while ago, or they just changed how it impacts vehicles a while ago.
I think they just changed how it impacts vehicles, but I think it still seems like it had ridiculous distance.
It may
more
have.
than a handgun should.
Yeah, I mean, clearly it's not a. It was like a laser beam. I mean, you literally just aim it and pull the trigger, and it didn't matter how far the person was away. You were getting a hit marker.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, if I had a sniper rifle and I had the revolver, I'd pick the revolver.
Wow,
because it was more accurate at the time. The sniper rifle had they put in all the stuff to make it sway, and it was harder. The sniper with the revolver, you just aim and pop. You could get somebody a headshot.
Pow, right in the kisser. Yeah, there you go.
Yep. A new reticle has been added that blooms as recoil increases.
I like that.
So it gets bigger as you're getting bigger, so you kind of have an idea of what your recoil is at the time. Aiming down sights will bring the reticle down to a smaller size to demonstrate accuracy, while holding down fire of an automatic weapon will now show how recoil increases over time. And then the old reticle can be used via the reticle style options and settings. So if you like how the old one was, you can change it back. New hit markers have been added to the shotgun to show how many of the pellets landed. So you actually know if 3 of the 4 or 6 or 8 or whatever actually hit the person, you'll know that now. Shots now leave a light blood trail behind them so that you can see the bullet trajectory. This can also be disabled in the settings. Which, it's pretty much the tracer.
I've got a problem with this. Why has this been such a problem for them? They have done so many things to try to indicate, like, are you hitting? Are you not hitting? Where are you hitting? And they've got sound effects now when you hit certain parts of the body. The gun, the hit marker, you've got hit markers on the screen. Things change. Your reticle updates. Why are all these things necessary? I mean, Christ. Is the game really that inconsistent, or I should say inconsistent, that you need a blood trail to see if you've actually hit somebody? I mean,
or it's a light trail, yeah. I mean, but that way, I mean, I guess you can't argue about where the bullet went.
I mean,
it could be, like there's a little trail there behind your gun, which, I mean, it's a cool effect, but it'll be interesting to see. You just get so much stuff on your screen at some point that it's like, it's like Batman, the old Batman's where it's like ping, zow, boom.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you're focused, but seriously, you're focusing on the sound effect from the person you're hitting. You're focusing on aiming and shooting. Now you're focused on this laser. You're focusing on the tracer behind your shot. You're focusing on now you're focusing on recoil inside your reticle. I mean, how the hell are you supposed to aim? It's like 4 or 5 things that you're having to like be like, am I hitting a shot? I don't know. Let me aim higher, lower, over. It's like it can't be this complicated. Battlegrounds doesn't have this problem.
I haven't played it for so long. The problem is I haven't played it since this patch. I don't really want to, but I may have to log in once just to see it. The bleed mechanic has been simplified so that there are now 3 bleeding states, and previously there were 5 bleeding states. The UI is now consistent with the system, showing 3 blood icons to indicate minor, moderate, and major bleeding. It'll take 1 bandage to heal 1 bleed marker, or a first aid kit to heal all 3. Throwables now no longer have to reload before they can be thrown. So you hold aim and then which is right mouse button by default, to see the aim arc to line up your throw, or tap left click to quick throw. Movement controls have been fine-tuned to be more responsive and better connected to the in-game actions of your character. So like running, turning, throwing, and strafing animations have all been improved. And then now you can move while looting. So other than this, they did weapon improvements. So like the new Hellfire Force 6 submachine gun that I think we talked about last week, if I remember correctly. And then it's a fully automatic that fires 30 rounds in about 2 seconds. So it's fast firing gun. They removed the R380 from the game. And so now its skin has been made available for the 1911. So the skin that was on the R380 is now on the 1911. The AR-15 and the AK-47 have been rebuilt with new models and then improved animations and better muzzle effects. Other guns will be improved similarly in the future. All weapons have had recoil, cone of fire, and reset time tuned to improve overall feel, as well as help reinforce their intended ranges. Explosive arrows now do more damage against vehicles, and gas grenades damage no longer stack. And then after this, it's just a bunch of the tuning that they did for weapons.
Gotcha.
So I don't know if you want to go into those or not. But
let's do the game giveaway. As we're quickly approaching the end of the show, I have to do a rapid fire giveaway here. All right,
Firebomb, congratulations.
Reroll. He doesn't deserve it. Congratulations, Firebomb.
Yeah, now we're not still red anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah, now that he's won a free, maybe this will shut him up for a week about our content we produce. We've earned a week's worth of pass in his book. So there. Now again, a reason why should you be tuning into the show live? We are here, folks. 135 episodes straight. We are the most. I did 3.5 hours worth of driving today to get back to Wilmington, North Carolina, to do this show tonight. I was gonna stay in Raleigh, but no, I came back here to do Infection. So you should be tuning in. If I can drive 3 hours to get back here to do this show, you better be able to watch the show live Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, same time, same place every week. Twitch.tv/Infection Podcast. We are here, most consistent survival video game podcast conducted in North Carolina
on Twitch on Tuesday nights at
7 o'clock in between the states of North Carolina and Idaho. Fact check it. Got Politico on the story.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, guaranteed. All right. What do you want to do?
All right. So
Saul says he came back from a 14. I'm sorry. Saul said he came back from a 14-hour search warrant to watch the show. That's dedication.
Nice.
Thank you, Saul.
So I do have a video that I kind of wanted to play. Actually, it's about H1Z1, but it's about 2 to 3 minutes long. It's talking. There's a video in there, and I think it kind of sums up our feelings. And this is from Ninja, the professional video game guy. Yeah. And he spends about 3 minutes here, or actually it's a couple minutes, talking about his thoughts on H1Z1 and versus Battlegrounds. And I thought it summed it up pretty well.
All right.
I don't know.
Yeah,
you're okay with that.
Yeah, so we'll do a couple minutes of this. Just give me the cue when you want me to cut it off, and we'll well, this is
he'll switch to talking, I think, about his wedding or something, and then
okay, that'll be good. Hard out then. All right, so this is some thoughts on PUBG.
One last topic, H1Z1. I know a lot of you guys subscribe to my channel to begin with due to all my H1Z1 highlights and all those things. I just have to say, I'm sorry. Sorry that PUBG came out. Sorry that the game is updated properly and that servers and bugs and things that are broken get fixed within hours of updates.
I don't know.
Sorry that they're better at communicating with their community than H1. Sorry, I wish H1 from the very beginning for the last 2 years had the dev team that it does now. The game is like when you take tape, scotch tape, and you just wrap it around your face and your face gets all distorted. Like that's the coding of H1Z1, like from the ground up. And it's on MMO servers and stuff. Like it's just not. It's gonna take time for the game to get to where it needs to get to be enough to like just pull my heartstrings back. It's gonna take a long ass time. So I mean, I'll be here. I'll be there for them. I'll be playing the game still a little bit. I'll be streaming it from time to time. Testing out the combat update, which by the way it's good, but like if you just see the things, like they even list, I mean, and I'm proud of them, they're doing this, they listed all the known bugs and stuff, but it's like, dude, they're not like, fix it, dude, like get these bugs down. Get them down, get them out of the game, just take the L, man, take a break, just go work your asses off 24 hours a day for like a month straight and recode the game so that it's not a piece of shit. And just make it all fluid and work together and just be better. Because PUBG came in and just stomped them in the ground and and it frustrates me because I love H1Z1 so much. Don't think I don't, right? No, you forgot where you came from. Oh my god, man, you fucking sellout. Suck a dick, dude. Sorry, but Pub killed, right? Ninja Man, you said Pub sucked that video 8 months ago. I was wrong. I didn't know that Bluehole and PlayerUnknown were gonna kill it. I didn't know they were gonna update the game perfectly, and I didn't know the game was just fun. Like I put in the hours. They've shown that they know what they're doing. They're taking care of business, and I'm just happy to support this game. So I'm gonna keep playing it. Obviously, like I said, this tournament's coming up. So that's that. I mean, that's literally everything. Summed it up pretty quickly, actually. It's pretty.
All right, so that's our sum up of it. It's interesting because this is different. I mean,
this is from a professional player who
been to these events.
This is all he does.
I mean, Daybreak has, if not paid.
I'm sure Daybreak has done everything they can to get him to play it again.
Well, and it's not they have either paid him to come to an event or paid for him to come to an event. I'm almost certain. I mean, he's been at these events. And some of the stuff is work for a month straight for 24/7 to recode your game. I mean that's just an ignorant statement to make. I mean, clearly he has no clue.
Yeah. I mean, you can't. He does. Yeah, the engine needs to be recoded for a year.
Recode the game is what somebody say that has no clue what programming. And again, I'm not trying to. I mean, it's just a stupid thing to say. It doesn't make any sense. Now I agree. What they should do for a month a month straight.
Like they could spend a month on the netcode, but I think they have been.
They could spend a month on anything. They could spend a month on fixing all these known bugs, and then I think we'd be in a decent spot. I mean, here's the thing. Again, I'll say it again, folks. Love it or hate King of the Kill, crap ton of people playing it. I'll bring you the numbers in a couple minutes. There's still a bunch of people playing the game. So, he hates it. I just don't like it. I don't think it's fun. Brian's not a fan. But a whole bunch of people are.
It in a long time.
A whole bunch of people are.
Yep.
Again, if they're from China or are they from the U.S., irrelevant. People are playing the game. So, clearly they're buying stuff. I mean, Brian, you were selling stuff on the marketplace. People are clearly buying things because they're playing the damn game. People buy crates
like crazy.
Doesn't make any sense.
I bought hundreds and hundreds of Just Survive skins because I'm gambling on like people are going to want skins again, right?
Yeah, you're penny stock trading.
Yeah, so it's like I bought them for 3 cents a piece, and if they go up to 10 cents, I'm selling them all. I mean, I'll make whatever, but when you buy hundreds,
do you do any actual investments, or is this what you're telling your wife? Like, yeah, I've got a good retirement plan.
It's a good investment.
Yeah, this is what your retirement.
No, I used to. I don't. I mean, I have 401k.
No, but see, this is what you need to do: roll your 401k into H1Z1 skins,
into Steam money, and then start doing the day trading on
on the marketplace. I think everybody in your family would be very proud of you if you became roll your retirement into video
it's an accomplishment in life.
Yeah, you're sitting back. You can retire tomorrow with all your H1Z1 Just Survive skin money. It's not even called H1Z1 anymore.
All the Steam Summer Sale stuff I bought was from H1Z1
I still have like $40 on my account from crates. So
I spent like $100-something bucks.
Yeah.
So let's okay. So one thing I wanted to hit on, we did that interview with Dead Matter, the lead developer of Dead Matter. One thing I wanted to say is that they have under 24 hours now left in their Kickstarter.
Yep.
That's why we wanted to do that interview last week. There should be some time for people to go check that out. If you still haven't and you forgot about it and you're hearing, you're like, oh yeah, I was going to go check that out. 22 hours to go right now left in it. They're almost to 200,000 US dollars.
That's hot.
That's a hot Kickstarter. They're just short of $250,000 US.
Would they want like 20 something or 40 something thousand too? I mean, they're like
47,000 is what they asked for, and they've got almost just short of 200,000. So, congratulations to them. That's awesome. And they actually, I don't know if you want to show, they have some pictures and then some video that kind of show some things. Now, this was a demo map that the lead developer had made internally, and so the person was like, "Yeah, I don't know if he wants me to show this or not, but I'm going to show it anyways."
Yeah. So
just kind of showing off some of the atmosphere, and this is kind of that blue feeling that they talk about, from the fog, and kind of has just a blue feel to it. So,
yes.
So yeah. So and this is mostly just him kind of driving around and showing this. There's some kind of audio that you can hear of
those car mechanics have got to get fixed. He just like completely, the car just like a 90-degree shift when he pressed A.
Yeah.
So again, as we said, check out the Kickstarter, do your own research, come to your own conclusion. You want to support the game, you're watching live, do it.
Yeah. If it looks like a type of game you'd enjoy, give them some support. If it's not, then maybe one of the next ones we show you'll be into.
Yeah, and again, and as most of these games, you will have an option to buy this later down the road. You just won't get maybe specific skins, tiers, rewards, name and credit, whatever.
Yeah,
but
house decoration or something.
But you'll get. I mean, they'll sell the game at some point, so that'll be interesting.
This isn't your last chance to get it. So if you're one of those people that are really cautious about what you get, it will be available later.
Yes, absolutely.
So, all right. So one thing, I don't know, there's a lot of updates that I don't think are as important. Do we want to do the Rust one, and then that can be?
I don't have the video loaded because I didn't think we'd talk about enough. I assume we didn't. I assume we didn't. We'd have enough to talk about. Now there's a couple of things in here, Brian, too. We Happy Few is something that we have not talked about in a while. For people that don't follow this game was shown at E3 2 years ago, I think.
Yes.
And I believe it was shown at Sony's press, Sony or EA's
Sony,
press,
yep.
Sony's press
It was
conference.
Sony.
And the whole concept behind We Happy Few is that you're living in a society where everybody is taking happy pills because they are living a gloomy, abysmal life. Their life is awful, and everybody's just
but they don't
tripped
realize
out of their mind. Yeah, I mean, the society is feeding you, happy pills, and you are kind of your character is kind of on the fringe of happy and gloomy and trying to figure the whole thing out. So
yeah, you take the option of not taking your pill, and then you start to what's cool is it goes from everything looks perfect to then all of a sudden you realize all these things that are broken around you and everything. And one really cool thing that really caught me in that first video that they showed, the playthrough that you could do, was they're having an office party and they're hitting a piñata, and so you see them whacking a piñata and your drugs are fading off, and then all of a sudden you realize that they're hitting a rat and they're starting to eat a rat, which they think is candy.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of that kind of a feel.
So they had a big update here. They call this
so this is actually tomorrow that it's coming out.
Okay.
So I kind of wanted to get ahead of it a little bit.
So what's going on in this?
This is actually coming out. So this is coming out on the 16th. So this is the one that they're calling their Technicolor update. And this is going to be the final update. This is the last update before their final release. So
of alpha.
To where they're actually releasing the game. So this is because there's a lot of things that are quest. There's a lot of quest stuff and storyline that they're not wanting to show off.
Gotcha.
And so this is going to be the final one because it's becoming too difficult for them to maintain kind of two branches of the project, because they're having to keep one that's kind of still hiding all the stuff that they want to save for release, and then still keep everything fixed and working. So this is going to be the last one. So
it's also the last time to get it at this price too. That's the kind of their
the price. I think it goes up to like $50 or something like that. Is that?
Yeah,
I remember.
It's currently 30. It may go up to. It's probably going to go up to 50 or 60. I'm probably going to.
I thought I saw that it was like $50 is what it was going to go to. So this is a game that is beautiful. First of all, they did a really good job of with the art department. It has a nice feel. It's got good voice acting, but as I said, this is going to be the final one. So August 16th. This will be tomorrow. So it'll be Wednesday if you're listening to this after the fact. And then they said they wanted to know about the price in advance because they didn't want to surprise everybody and have it be where all of a sudden, you're looking at, I'm going to get the game, and that the price has jumped up.
Yeah.
It says the final game will contain the full story that we've been working on for the past 3 years. So a lot of gamers who haven't played the game think it's currently just a survival sandbox, completely unaware that it contains around 90 fully voiced over encounters and that you can remove the survival setting. And so the game has changed a great deal since the early access release. So if you see people around talking about just another survival game, we'd appreciate if you point them in the direction of recent changes. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But the main thing is that this is that I wanted to get across is that this is going to be the final patch, and the price will be going up. So make sure if you're going to be getting this game, and you might want to go just check out some videos on it. I'm sure some people are streaming it live, on Twitch at some point. So I would encourage you to just go check it out and see if it's the type of game that you enjoy. It is a survival game, but it is a single player survival game, kind of you against the environment. And then a lot of it will be you going through and playing through the storyline, which is, it's got a really interesting story, and they're trying to surprise people quite a bit with this.
Yeah. So. I mean, I for a while didn't understand this. And again, this isn't a criticism of them as much as it's just a criticism. Well, it's not a criticism of anybody. They released this game in such a spot because they probably were literally out of money. And the only way that they could have continued development, I mean, how many 90-something completely voiced over scenes?
Yeah, so 90 like different situations. So like pretty much probably quest lines, 90 different fully voiced quest lines that you can go through and do. Plus, it's a totally generated world, so no two experiences are alike. It's got a full underground sewer system. It's got really unique, they did a really good job. It's got pretty interesting quests in there for the ones that are the test ones that I've been able to see up to this point. So,
but that's my point. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, one thing that they said is we cannot always show what is going on behind closed doors at the studio, and the game has become so much bigger since we first announced the project. So
I mean, of course. So, and I think, I mean, they are 100% running into the problem of, I bet you money they ran into the problem of they ran out of money, and that's why they had to release. I mean, Brian, when they released this, it was literally nothing. It was the same opening scene over and over and over again. They released this to get money, and clearly,
you could see some of the random gen stuff, and you could run around and do a few things. Yeah, but that was part of the issue is they needed money to continue the development, and they got it. But I think that they followed through past that. This is a Kickstarter project. It started out as a Kickstarter project, and a lot of Kickstarter projects don't live up to what the claim of them being was. And this is one that I think has, if not exceeding what they promised. From what I can tell, I wasn't there for the original Kickstarter. I kind of saw it when we stumbled across it at the Sony conference. But I looked at it, I was like, this looks really interesting. It looks entertaining. This is the kind of game I'd like. And there was more to it. It seems like it's a bigger game than what I thought I was buying at the time, which I appreciate personally.
Yeah. So there you go.
But yeah, definitely check it out. As I said, tomorrow's the last patch, and then you may want to just double check when the price is going up, because if you are considering it, it might save you $20.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. I was super pumped for this game when I saw it, but I don't think I have the cojones to pull the trigger on the $30 buy. Brian, I'll play the game through your wonderful descriptions and accounts each and every week.
Thanks.
So, we want to announce a giveaway. We got some current players, and then we'll wrap this show up.
All right. So actually, I'll have to find that code.
Okay. So what I will do, I guess I'll do current players then. Well, why don't we just announce the giveaway?
Sorry,
you can find the code, right?
Yeah. So we are. I'm trying to remember what we're giving away. What did they give us a copy of? We are giving away a copy. We announced it beforehand as a secret. And they emailed it to me. Let me pull it up.
It is.
Remember what it was?
It is the Darwin. It's the Darwin Project.
Oh yeah, the Darwin Project. Yeah, that's right.
It's a really great game. Can't remember the name of it. It's fantastic.
I'm trying to remember because we mentioned it beforehand. I'm like, what was that game? So the Darwin Project is the one that we interviewed at PAX.
Yeah, they loved us.
Yeah, we stumbled across it. We're like, hey, this is a really cool game.
Yeah.
So, let me see if it's actually got it. It's the Darwin Project, but let me see if it actually has a Steam page that shows anything, because this is a closed beta.
Okay.
Or closed alpha, and so I don't know that it's available. Yeah, it's not available for people to see, but it's the Darwin Project. And this is one that we showed live gameplay of, that we played at PAX, and I was able to get a copy from them. So this is a closed opportunity. You can't go buy this game right now. You have to get a copy of the game from the developers. So we have one copy to give away. And I don't really, as I said, I don't have a link because it's not on Steam as something that I can show. And the other one, I don't know that it would show.
I wouldn't. It's a Darwin Project. We've talked about it. It's a Hunger Games. We showed it at PAX.
Yep. So the Darwin Project will be giving away one copy of that, and then you can go ahead and, so actually let me open it up before you guys type exclamation point. Me looking for it threw me off. All right, exclamation point giveaway in chat. As soon as you see the notice come up, it's 30 points. Everyone should have that. There you go. Now that you see that, if you just typed it, please retype it one more time. So 2 people need to retype it, and then you'll be entered into it.
Fantastic. I should probably pull the H1Z1 marquee off, as we're not talking about H1Z1. Okay.
Talking about the whole time.
Yeah, no, I turned it off and back on.
I'll put a link. I put a link to their website if people want to see it. But
gotcha.
There you go.
All right, so here we go. Current players currently playing H1Z1 Just Survive. I've got to change this screen. 3,985. The 24-hour peak for this game is 5,436, and the 7-day peak 5,436. King of the Kill. Again, folks, I'll say it 1,000 times. People are still playing this game. Currently playing it 30,312. The 24-hour peak 116,027 with a 7-day peak of 133,420. Ark Survival Evolved. Currently playing this game 29,622. 24-hour peak 44,405, and the 7-day peak 51,685. And Brian, I know you're gonna love it. Player Unknown's Battlegrounds. Currently playing it 201,843 with, as we're speaking, 24-hour peak 617,207 with a 7-day peak of that exact same number, 617,207. And as I pull the music down here, and as I open up my spreadsheet, Brian, to compare numbers from last week, I've been keeping track of this. So last week, this same time, same place, we were at 581,000. This week we're at 617,000. I mean, when does it stop, Brian?
Almost 40,000.
What was our prediction?
Almost 40,000 up.
Where's the book? Please tell me you haven't lost the book.
Oh, I get it right here.
What
I have it.
We predicted last week. I believe I said 1 million, which is definitely not going to happen.
Well, I don't. Okay, so this is by 2018. We talked about concurrent peak.
Gotcha.
So this was by 2018. I said there'd be 800 to 900,000 concurrent, and then you said 1 million concurrent.
Yeah.
And our friend at what's it? Drop. I was listening to his podcast.
Hot Drop Podcast.
Hot Drop Podcast.
Dan.
He today, he made the. I think he took your estimate. He said 1 million is where you think.
I mean, I know best.
Like, how soon do we get to 1 million?
I'm a podcaster. I know best.
Yeah, you know what you're talking about. So
yeah, I mean, I do a podcast on Tuesday nights. I mean, 135 weeks. I mean, I have to know something, right? So,
yep.
There you go. That's it's current players.
Cool.
Yes.
That's impressive. I think I always wonder, like, I may be underestimating. You may be correct, but
I'm probably not going to be correct.
I committed. Yep. I don't know, like at 40,000 every single week. They've been keeping that pace.
There's that ceiling though. I mean, but it won't. I mean,
I just don't know where.
Yeah, but last week they gained like 80,000. So I mean, it was like 90 something thousand they gained last week. It was like they were at like 480 something, and then they were at.
Do you think that schools starting back up and things like that are going to
college? I know a couple colleges in town here are back in session. High schools are going to be starting up over the next month. Yeah, absolutely. That's
okay, but let's say if they can keep adding content and they push it towards getting closer to the Steam sale and things like that, when you get to the Thanksgiving and Christmas time.
Oh yeah,
I think that they could, if they can, because they're one thing that we didn't show, we didn't even talk about it today. I had a video for the vaulting and everything that showed their vaulting animations, and that's looking pretty smooth. Like, I think things like that, just getting it to where when you run around, it feels like a smooth experience. I think that is going to be what it takes to really keep players coming in. And they've been doing, I mean, right now, probably the biggest complaint that you could say is maybe, the player movements aren't as comfortable as you'd like. That's my thing that I notice. Like when you're going left, right, forward, back, like it's not quite as smooth as it could be. And I think that once they get the vaulting to where you're not having to jump 3 times to get over certain parts of a wall, that I think will fix a lot of it to where it's just that much more of a polished game.
Yeah, absolutely. So continue to follow it. I just can't. And again, let me remind everybody, this is important, Brian. This is very important. PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, Brandon is a big fan of our show, according to Lance, our number 1 fan.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm not saying we had anything to do with the current players, but I mean, if he's a fan of the show and the game's got 617,000 concurrent players, we had some. I mean, we have a lot of people watch the show, Brian. Believe me, lots of people are watching.
I do remember him watching our show once, and maybe that's where he got half the ideas. I mean, could be.
Just saying, this is untapped resource. If somebody wanted to develop a game, if you could listen to 135 episodes of the show, you guarantee you'd have. And I'm working on my game as well. More. Look forward to that coming.
Weather Simulator. 2018.
Yeah, look forward to it. It's gonna be good. Look forward to it.
Yep. All right, so let's go and we'll roll into tip of the week here. And tip of the week's where either I give a tip that's a general one, or maybe for a specific game. This week is actually going to be about We Happy Few, since we were talking about it. This is tip of the week. All right, so there's some interesting things I think a lot of people don't quite catch on to with We Happy Few. And I just kind of wanted to mention some of those that maybe will give you a little bit of a boost when you're playing this game. When you first start out, you're going to be starting out in an area where people are walking around in tattered clothing. They haven't been taking showers. And one interesting thing about this is if you walk into those areas and you have a nice suit on, people will be more cautious of you, and they'll kind of be apprehensive to talk to you. And it is very possible they also will attack you when you come up to them if you're wearing something that just is out of place in that area. But if you were to go in and you have the torn suit, that's an option in here, they most likely will leave you alone and they won't attack you. Same thing as once you go to, there's nicer residential areas in the town in Wellington, and if you go in there and you're dressed not as nicely, they'll look at you suspiciously. Or if you're dressed nicely, they'll treat you like an equal. Another thing when you're starting out is that beginning area, that home that's underground. That's actually a safe place. So you have a personal safe in there, a bed for you. No enemies can ever come down into that spot. So it's kind of just a retreat that you can go to. And so keep that in mind, that that's always a place you can go back to. It's a survival game, but that is your safe spot. That's your safe place. Another thing is that I haven't really played with too much in this game that I'm waiting for the release, is whether or not you want to take your joy, which when they talk about taking the pills, that's taking your joy. You have the option of taking joy or not taking joy. And one cool thing, it is actually changes the way things appear around you, which is why I'm really wanting to wait and kind of experience that part of the game with the final release, because I think it's going to be a big part of it. But what you can do is, if like in a residential area, you take your joy and you have a high joy level, that will make the citizens that are around you happy to see you. So similar to the clothing, they'll also be happy to see you because your joy level is high. But if you don't have any joy, so you haven't taken your pills and it's totally worn off, it makes them, susceptible to calling you. They'll call you a downer. They'll look at you and say, "Hey, he's a downer," and they'll chase after you or try to cause attention to come to you, and you maybe will get attacked. So that's one thing. Keep in mind is, with these, you could take the joy, not take the joy. What you're wearing makes a big difference. And then your home is always safe. So those are kind of 3 tips in one. That's tip of the week.
You're giving people more than they paid for. 3 tips in one, Brian?
Sorry.
I mean, this is a free podcast that we're producing after all.
I know. We'll do two tips in a, you can pay.
It used to be called, what it used to be called? It used to be called tips of the week. And then we cut it down to tip of the week.
Tips of the week. And then I narrowed it. Well, because I used to give an advanced.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
The
origin, the advanced.
So I had an advanced tip and the beginner tip. But the thing is when I'm talking about such different things, it's, it's kind of difficult to do. So.
And I don't have the original intro, so you're going to have to keep a tip of the week because I don't have
We'll have to keep it to the week. I'll just keep on molding them into one package.
There you go. It's fantastic. Cool. Do we want to roll for
All right. So we're ready for roll for this?
This is a big one, folks.
Very good.
So you only find this here on Affection Podcast.
All right. So I assume it's kind of like X Elite. It's
probably
EXIL 1337
is elite, of course.
So, yep. So he has won. Congratulations! And I will send you a message inside of Twitch here, and that will have your code.
Yes.
And so we received an email, so I'll have to pull it up, but I will send it in a message. It'll probably be an
email.
Other messages.
Okay.
We received an email. I'll grab the code out of it, and then I'll send him a message.
Got you. So cool. I'm sorry. Okay. I was looking something. So again, I'm all over the place. I'm exhausted. Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be playing H1Z1 Just Survive. Hopefully you'll join us for that. We've got Minecraft coming up on the 25th, I believe, and then the week after that, we're going to hope
you'll be the Ark.
As long as Ark is on.
As
long as Ark is on track.
Arkapalooza.
Yeah, and Arkapalooza is going to start Tuesday. We may have to do the show on a Monday. I mean. We'll
have to see if the servers are up and operational.
These are ample. Well, the problem is
we could be playing while we're doing our audio only version. We'll just.
I can't play and do
the show. Worst podcast episode ever.
The audio gets all choppy and arc and stuff. It would just not be good. Not be. Good.
Oh yeah, every time we'd load in there, it's like.
Yeah, exactly. It's just not good. So we'll figure something out, but hopefully we'll know more on that next week. So, I think that's about all of the housekeeping stuff. Brian, you got anything, or where can people find you online?
Yep. If you want to find me at Boise Computer on Twitter, or you're more than welcome to go check out my blog, biteoftech.com. If you go there, there's a lot of nerdy stuff.
What was your most recent article?
I think it was like 6 months ago, but I'm in school. That's my excuse. As soon as I write some cool code, I'll throw it on there for you.
There you go. This is
May.
This is the future of blogs right here.
It's 3 months ago. There we go. And this is stuff that most people will be like, what in the world? I mean, talking about Let's Encrypt, and I did a big batch of doing encryption topics. So
yeah, PH
3 months is not that outdated.
That's literally stale bread. I mean, I'd back on
that. But the information is still current.
It's timeless information.
Yes, this is stuff that people need, and the thing is people go to Google because they're trying to figure out a problem.
Yeah,
so that's how they come across my blog, not because they want to subscribe to it and and like, oh, he put out this thing about fixing this one problem. It's more for catching the people that go to Google and they're like, I need to figure out how to force SSL on my round cube webmail platform. And then I have a full tutorial of how to do that, stuff like that. So that's where you can go check it out. Mostly what the important thing would be on there is on the upper right, there's all the different ways to contact me. So if you want to go on there, there's a link to
every possible social network,
every possible one on there. So that's the where to find
got
me.
Your Skype on here. You should probably get rid of that.
Yeah, might as well delete that. And so so you can go on there, and that's mostly a contact form for me. Also go to our website, infectionpodcast.com. On the right hand side, you can go and there's a link to join our Discord server, especially if you're planning on playing maybe some Ark with us. That'd be really cool to get a nice big group. If you haven't played with us before, the Arkapalooza would be an excellent opportunity to join into the group, have a lot of fun with us, really get to an idea of what the group is about, because I'm sure we'll have days of just playing Ark like crazy, and it'll be a blast. Also, you can join our Steam group on there. That'll give you nice notifications of when the live show is going to start. Also, when our Friday night game nights are beginning. And if we do a Saturday night board game night, which is a lot of fun, I encourage people to join us when we do those. You can join our Steam group and you get just one little pop-up that comes up right before we start it, and then it goes away. And I think that's pretty much it. I encourage you to go and maybe leave a review or subscribe to us on some place that you haven't. Follow, like, subscribe, whatever the button is below, whatever you're watching us on.
Smash the like button.
Smash it. You got to smash it.
It's the only way it works.
That's it.
All right. So again, we'll be back here next Tuesday. Couple of exciting shows coming up in terms of news. Like, well, obviously we'll have the Ark stuff here in a couple of weeks. I would imagine, for the foreseeable future, Brian, H1Z1, Just Survive is going to have updates probably every week, decent size updates as it's now full. So, we're kind of, would you agree that we were kind of in a lull for a little while? Past couple of weeks, it just wasn't a whole lot to talk about. PUBG's doing their thing, killing it. Ark again pushing towards launch. Oh wow, we've updated the crunching sound that the dinosaurs make when they eat.
That's the thing is, a couple new games need to come out, like some of the new survival games, because that's the thing is we've had a break in new releases. And now we're just into the updates, or people talking about what's going to be coming up soon. So hopefully we'll have a couple new games coming up to Christmas, and then we'll have some new topics. And
that's important too, because if you are following an indie game, something that's about to launch, something that's could launch, something that's kickstarted, Indiegogo'd, whatever, send it to us, because I've got a couple that I have on my list. I'm sure Brian's following a whole bunch. So if you're following a game, even if you think we may already know about it, send it to us, because there's a good chance we're probably not. So you can send it to us send us a Discord message or tweet us at InfectionCast. A whole bunch of different ways you can get in touch with us. So, Brian, thank you very much, and we will see you next week. Looking forward to another fantastic Infection podcast here. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on this Friday night. Again, we are here live every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/Infection Podcast, the most reliable and most accurate. I'm going to throw that in there too.
Survival podcast on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern.
On twitch.tv/Infection Podcast.
On twitch.tv/
the most accurate, and you can't argue with that. So thanks for tuning in, folks. You can follow me on Twitter at Nicholas M. Craig. Of course, visit our website, infectionpodcast.com. My name is Nick Craig, and we'll see you next week for Infection. Have a good one, everyone.